Have you ever wondered what living your true, authentic life would be like? And doing so fearlessly, undeniably, and unapologetically? Is such a way of life even possible? My answer is yes, it is. Welcome to my podcast, From Fearful to Fierce. My name is Sarah Odo Grossfatner, and I will be using this space to share simple, easy to implement tips on how to become the best version of yourself by living authentically, unapologetically, undeniably, and fearlessly. From Fearful to Fierce is based on my FFTF trilogy, which is available on Amazon, by the way. A series on the importance of knowing, accepting, and loving one's self. So, whether you are struggling with imposter syndrome, self doubt, or just looking to level up your confidence game, this podcast has got you covered. So, get ready to take on the world one fearless step at a time as this podcast unravels and tackles some of the issues that prevents us from becoming the best version of ourselves. Once again, I'm your host, Sarah Odo Grossfather. Hello there, it's good to be back. Sorry, my voice is a little bit dim today. That's because I've not been well for a bit, and but I'm fine now, and I've been really excitedly looking forward to recording another episode. I've missed doing this. And so let's get right into it again. Today I'm going to talk about an incident that took place a couple of, actually about 2 years back. It was actually at an event, it was a church event, a kind of like a Saturday get together, everybody doing something fun. And at this event, we had we had some games going, and so we were all different people were sitting at different desks, and so you had different groups of people. And so on our table, we were about I think we were a total of about eight, seven ladies, and one guy. Anyway, so the moderator gave out the games that everyone was to play, and then gave go ahead for us to start. And at our table, everybody was looking at everyone else, seeing who is going to start. And the boy, and rather the boy, the guy, was looking at us. He didn't want to start. I sort of like started things off, and before you knew it, all the ladies were all chiming in. At every point in the game, we will look at the guy waiting for him to also give his own contribution, but he wasn't. And the good thing was that every time the game was at the end of every game, our table was really winning. We were doing very well. Anyway, it's about, let's say, 25 minutes into the game, the moderator called out for us to go on a break. And this was where things got interesting because when we all stood up and went to get some things to eat and drink, a little bit of water, stretch our legs, say I and a couple of other ladies overheard this boy complaining to another group, a couple of guys, that our table, that the women were sure of, that we were trying to prove that we know too much. We were making observations and giving our opinions, and we're not giving him a chance. And I thought to myself, wow, this is exactly the reason that most of us travel to Europe, and at the end of our stay here, we end up really getting nothing. I mean, of course, we get the money, we buy the big cars, we go home, we build big houses, but we have no knowledge. They say knowledge is power. It is the one thing no one can take from you. You can have all the money in the world, and whatever reason, I mean, look at the financial situation crisis of 2008. A lot of people, one day they were rich people, the next day they were paupers. So money can fail you anytime. Material things will fail you anytime. But the thing that you have in your head, the knowledge that you have in your head, no one can ever take that from you. I know it was just supposed to be a game, but it was also opportunity to learn, opportunity to interact with other people, to learn to argue your point, and then give reason for why your observation was valid. It was an opportunity for the guy to give his own voice, allow his own voice to be heard. But what did he do? He allowed his own insecurities to overrule him, to get the better of him. It's bad enough when you allow your insecurities to prevent you from being the best of you. But it's even worse when you now try to use your insecurities to make other people, to bring other people down. You don't know anything, or you know something. I'm sorry to say, it's not that he didn't know anything, but he didn't know how to express what he knew. Rather than just admit that, or even maybe even just not say anything and just listen and observe. The next thing he did was to turn around and rubbish someone, to rubbish other people, to become a stumbling block for us. Because I remember very well at this event, every time a game was called out, we always looked to him. We actually asked him if he wanted to say something. And you know how you know this body language when someone will just like put their arms across their chest and kind of lean back. Basically, a body language that tells you, I'm not part of this, I'm just going to watch you. So we were always asking him, what do you want to contribute? And he would just say, oh, go ahead, nothing. And then there was this same guy going off later to say that we were showing off. And he basically just rubbished women, all the women that were at this table. The topic for today, for this episode, is don't expect what you do not respect. We are oftentimes our own worst enemies. Everyone at that table, we were all Africans. All of us were black. Of course, it was an international church with people from all walks of lives. But at the table, at the game that day, it just happened that we're all Africans. And something that should have been fun, with every one of us encouraging one another, turned out to be something that this guy, saw as an opportunity to kind of like rubbish his own fellow Africans, women. I would have loved to say that it is like a one-off thing. It was a one-off thing, but unfortunately, this is not the case. I've often encountered things like this, situations like this. We come out here, we want to make a better life for ourselves. We aspire to be something, but at the same time, as we are oftentimes the ones who are the cog in the wheels of our own progress. Obviously, you could see that he was intimidated. Maybe he didn't feel that he was educated enough, but who cares? No one was asking his pedigree, where he came from, what his education was. We all just wanted to have fun. And not just have fun, but actually in the presence of God. We were quoting scriptures. So it wasn't as if someone was saying what degree they had. It had nothing to do with their level of education. It was strictly about the scriptures, and if how well we knew the Bible. And so one would have thought that have been enough to let this guy know that there was nothing to prove, because we're not there to prove anything. I just wanted to share this, that what you do not respect, you will never actually get. And again, don't actually expect to get what you don't respect. And my father used to say something actually. He used to say that always align yourself to people who know a bit more than you, so that when you walk away, if you knew two and they know three, you walk away knowing three. You walk away knowing five, because it will be the two that you know plus the three that they know. But unfortunately, more often than not, when our people don't know, rather than admit they don't know, the next thing they do is try to rubbish the people that they feel know. Nobody knows everything. Every single one of us, no matter how educated we are, there's always going to be something that we don't know. And so the wisdom is in being allow yourself to be vulnerable, to say that you don't know. Because the moment you admit that you don't know, you're open to learning. It means you're teachable. And when you're teachable, when you're open to learning, when you're teachable, you learn, you begin to know more. And so that's what I wanted to say out there. If you want to, if you expect something, don't disrespect that thing. So the bottom line here is don't think you can get what you don't respect. Don't expect what you don't respect, because you will not get it. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, this is From Fearful to Fierce by Sarah Udo Grosswagner. Until next time, keep striving to become the best version of yourself. Live intentionally, be unapologetic, be bold, be fearless. Before I forget, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, like the different episodes, and press the notification button so that when I bring out new episodes, you'll be notified. Thank you very much. Until next time.